Hey folks, this is Peter Boykin. I had reported before that I was going to go here to the county office building. I did this morning. They didn't allow phones, but they do stream it. I got there about 9:30. I think people got to sign up to speak a little early. So I did not get a chance to speak, but I did sit next to Rudy, who owns the Rad Range, and there was a lot of speaking that was going on about the certain situation, and a lot of accusations. Rudy didn't really get much to speak during that time. There was a lot of people accusing of bullets and things going past them, and people scared of weapons, and then somebody saying they were hunting. And so finally we got to the point where they started talking about the actual ordinance, and the commissioners did a good job letting people know they are definitely Second Amendment. Sheriff Johnson was there. He talked about it as well, where we've got this mixture of wanting to do something about the unlawful discharge of weapons, but making sure that people still had their right to the bear arms, and exactly the kind of things that we want to make sure that this doesn't go overboard. So what they've done is they went over and said some of the sections that the city attorney came up with were redundant, some things were vague, and that they would not read through it today because they have to have 2 readings before they'd vote. But they would send it back to have a rewrite. During this time, Sheriff Johnson was called up to speak about it, and he talked about what was going on. And then finally Rudy, because they kept asking questions and stuff, he was able to, as an expert witness of owning a gun range, was able to attest about the situation and how he did everything properly, how his range does. Someone else asked him, there's new property that moved in? And then Rudy got to say, yes, there is new property that's moved in. They clear-cut land around him, and that his the true purpose he believes is that they are trying to do a land grab. It is more of the urban development moving into the county, trying to push out a gun range because people don't want to live next to a gun range. My point that I would like to bring up and would have liked to have said is that I believe in life, liberty, and equal justice. And that's part of our Constitution. And thank you for allowing our First Amendment where we can come and speak. But our Second Amendment is very crucial for our right to bear arms, and they shall not be infringed. And then I was worried about these ordinances. Are they really needed because we've been fined beforehand? Or is this just a dispute from some neighbors that come on to complain? Now, the weird part about this is that if you're out hunting, illegal hunting, and a bullet strays out into somebody else's property when you're hunting, you apparently don't get in trouble. But if it's any other case, you're shooting at cans or something like that, or you're at a gun range and it goes out, then you can get charged. Because this is the concern that I think Rudy had the most, was that the person shooting would get charged with a misdemeanor, class 3 misdemeanor, plus a $500 fine. But the entity, the person who owns the business, could also be charged with that fine. And so what would happen is, how do you determine this? And then the other problem is, how do you not know that these neighbors are just making it up? So what's the point is people wanting to sell their land? They could be setting him up to trying to make his business go out of business. From Rudy has said, he's gave me this nice packet and everything, that he's done everything he can to lawfully ensure that people are operating guns properly on his property. He has shown his property lines. He has rules. He literally has rules on what to do, and he will make sure that people do everything they're supposed to do. His worry was that he would somehow get charged and put out of business. Someone lied, said that they served alcohol out there. He does not. This rule states that you do not serve alcohol. Or people cannot, if they're intoxicated, and that's intoxicated by the law, or under a substance by the law that's illegal to fire in firearms. And so it's a heated debate. It's a heated topic. The main concern is, where do we, like anything else, Where do we ensure that we have our gun rights without infringing on our gun rights, but keep people safe? And where does this become just a neighbors talking about bullets whizzing by their heads and stuff, and a tree, and they made it sound like there's a war zone going on, and they're daily buzzing past trees, and there's bullets going this way. Well, how do you know they're coming from the gun range, and how do you not know they're coming from somebody shooting out and shooting weapons to hunt? Why does the gun range get blamed on everything? And that's the chief concern. So the next meeting, I think, is April 17th. I'll probably come back to that. We'll see the update. Hopefully there'll be some resolution. More than likely they might be an ordinance, but they want to make sure the wording of the ordinance does not encroach on our Second Amendment, does not encroach on businesses, does not cause problems. I still feel like that we don't really need an ordinance. Why does Alamance need to be the first place? And I worry about the abusing of these ordinances, because today it could be a gun range. If the rules come in this, nobody's ever going to want to open a gun range. Nobody's going to want to have one. I believe that Rudy and other people need to be on a subcommittee. They need to be able to address this properly, and they need to come to an agreement. Definitely. I do think the commissioners meeting need to have more of a debate on these things, a little bit more of a procedure on making sure people like Rudy get to speak properly without him having to basically, freak out and say, hey, can I speak? Can you please speak? Something more than just 3 minutes when you have multiple people talking. One person did address during the meeting, and he looked right at Rudy, and Rudy answered the question, and then Rudy got reprimanded for answering the question. Well, you accused the guy of something. What do you expect? I'm glad I was there. I did learn about some other things about the school board. There's a major issue with the school board here in Alamance County getting money given to them by the county, and there's no accountability. There's no checks and balances on where this money gets done. They've spent $3 million or gave $3 million to the school. They're supposed to get cameras and other security, and nothing's been done. And it's just been sitting there. So the point is, where's the accountability? So there's some discussion. Apparently, somebody almost got kicked out of the school board, one of the commissioners, because of this issue. I think there needs to be checks and balances. I feel like if the people giving the money to the schools have to be accountable and have to get things done. You got the money, what's the holdup? Is something else majorly going to happen where the safety and security of the children in Alamance County, does something like that have to happen? And then people will go, where were the problems? I don't know who runs the school board yet, but I'm hoping to go to a couple of school board meetings and we can address this and talk about things. And I can hear more things about what's going on in my county. So if you've got something going on in your county in North Carolina, or you've got something that you need me to come speak on, something interesting in the North Carolina area, let me know. Let me know when the meetings are, and I will try to get to those meetings. I will sit in. I will address these issues. I'll say what I need to say to help you out. That's what I'm doing. I'm running for North Carolina Lieutenant Governor in 2024, and this is the kind of responsibilities that we do, is reach out to the public, find out some information, see how the processes go, and raise voices and find out what we can do. Go to peterboykin.com, check out the website. My issues are there. Everything's there. And of course, I put out videos all the time. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this in North Carolina. And thank you for listening. Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin. I am a conservative. I want to conserve our Constitution. I want to conserve our country. I want to conserve our way of life. I want to conserve our freedom. The principles of life, liberty, and justice for all. This is what makes our country what it is. So yes, I am a conservative. For some, I might not fit your definition, but that's the point. It's your definition, not mine. Life, liberty, justice for all. The power of one becomes the voice for many. Hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. To be a Republican and in the Republican Party. We'll be right back with Go Right News. You can follow us on GoRightNews.com for more information. Hi, fellow patriots. This is Peter Boykin from #GoRight. Share this right now. Time to go right. Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin. I am a true we the people, grassroots Americans first constitutionalist for North Carolina. Overall, I believe North Carolina, America needs economic stimulation, protection on our border, quality education, medical freedom, secure elections, jobs and job security, and improved affordable health care options for everyone. Because together, North Carolina can be united for a greater America. We should put America first, and that means putting Americans first. We are supposed to be a first world nation, so let's start taking care of all of our citizens. Healthcare, food, education, civil rights, and more should never be a left or right issue. The principles of the Republican Party, the right of the individual to achieve the best that is within him, as long as he respects the rights of others, is the source of our nation's strength. Government exists to protect the freedom of opportunity in which each individual's creative ability can flourish. Government activities should be limited to those things which people cannot do at all or cannot do so well for themselves. The most effective government is the government closest to the people. Those who cannot provide for themselves should be assisted by both government and society, but that every effort should be made to help them become self-supporting citizens. Equal rights, justice, equal justice, and equal opportunity belong to all, regardless of race, creed, age, sexuality, sex, gender, or national origin. The preservation of our nation and the security of our citizens depend upon the Constitution, the laws, and the courts, and that respect for them is the responsibility of every individual. The government is accountable for maintaining sound money and a responsible economy. Individual rights, liberties, and properties are continuously eroded when citizens are oppressed by excessive taxation, inflation, government waste, and overregulation. The government is responsible for national defense, and only a strong America can remain a free America. It is absolutely essential to maintain a strong national defense posture in order that we may at all times negotiate from a position of strength, not weakness, and that the republic is based on. As a constitutionalist, I am committed to the preservation of this country, and this is my goal today and for the future. And that's what makes me a conservative. The power of one becomes the power of many, the voice of many. Time to hashtag with Peter Boykin. Peter Boykin for North Carolina Lieutenant Governor 2024. Do you like what you see? I will be running in 2024, and I'll need lots of support. The website is peterboykin.com. That's PeterBoykin.com, and it's updated. I plan to run a clean campaign as we will have a lot of candidates running, and I just hope that money doesn't continue to decide who runs things in Raleigh or D.C. Our government should be ran by the people, and mainly by those like myself who can understand the everyday struggles of its citizens. Win or lose, I cannot just sit on the sidelines and comment. Running is activism. So if you have or you like the content that I've put out in the past, please help me towards the future. Let's hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Thanks for listening to Go Right with Peter Boykin. Please like this post, and please subscribe and follow and share this podcast to all your social media accounts, and visit GoRightNews.com for more Go Right News with Peter Boykin. If you like what you hear, help support the podcast by donating. The link to donate is on GoRightNews.com. Thank you for your support. Check out this news story and more on GoRightNews.com and the podcast, hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Go right and register to vote. Your vote matters, so vote. Go right and vote. Hashtag Go Right. Go right. Do right. Be right. Go right. Do right. Be right. Lead right. Think right. Vote right. Vote right. Think right. Lead right. Hashtag Go Right.
It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRight.us and GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Great American Revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America.
Thanks again, everybody, for listening to this, and please share it everywhere. Again, this has been hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, a part of GoRightNews.com.